Hello everyone, welcome back to Sephora's YouTube channel and thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Madonna. I am a Sephora Squad member for 2020. I'm excited about today's video because we are now going into the fall season and I love fall. I love the layering of wardrobe, the pumpkin spice latte. My most favorite thing about fall is doing fall looks. I'm going to show you how to achieve this look the most easiest way possible. Anyone can do it, and I'm going to show you how to do it with almond shaped eyes, as that's what my eye shape is. If you want to know how to achieve this smoky eye look, keep on watching. Okay, so we are up close and personal and my eyes are primed and ready for eyeshadow. We're going to dip into the Natasha Denona bronze palette. I'm going to show you which colors I will be dipping into to create this fall look. And for the brushes, I will be using Sephora Collection Pro Shadow Brush number 15, Pro Shadow Brush number 14, and Pro Crease Brush number 19. What I'm going to do first is that I'm going to dip into my crease first. I like doing this because I like layering a color that I'm going to be able to blend out all the other colors with. So this is what's called a transition shade. I'm going to dip in the shade Ridge. When it comes to smoky eyes, I can understand how they are very intimidating, but you don't have to be. The best thing about smoky eyes is that they don't have to be so perfect. They're meant to look smoky. So we want things to be in the right placement. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go in our crease section and kind of like blown out the crease color first, and that's why we're using the crease brush. And I'm going to just add this only in the crease. I am not going to go any further up to like my brow bone. If you're someone with a pretty decent lid size like myself, you're able to do circular motions and make sure that that crease is nicely blown out so that it's kind of like blending into nothing, into like a nice diffused color. If you're someone who has a smaller lid space, then the best thing for you to do is to, instead of doing circular motions where you might just put the color too far up to your brow bone, you might want to do just kind of like this motion and just kind of blend in this way. Now make sure that you are still blending where you don't leave a harsh line in any section of the eye, which is why we like crease brushes, because they tend to be blending brushes. They do all the work for you, so they won't leave any harsh lines. We want to keep the illusion that our eyes are very lifted, so we're going to kind of extend upward, going up. And that's the thing about almond shaped eyes. You can do that and it's going to make it even more intense because our eye shape already kind of does that on its own. You don't have to do that for every single shade that we're going to use. I would say it's just kind of like the first to second shade that we use, and that's it, because the darker that we're going to go, we're going to get closer to the eye. I'm going to use this same crease brush and I'm going to go into a deeper color. I am going to dip into Suntan. I'm going to kind of like put that on my lid, and I'm using a this fluffy brush, this crease brush, rather than a flat brush, only because it just makes it so much easier for you to blend the two colors together. That way you don't have any weird lines and having to go back and forth between brushes, because we're not going to go back and forth. This is the color we're going to stay on and we don't need to go back into the first shade. So I'm going to pack on this color again on my lid using the same brush, and we're going to use this crease brush to blend this into the transition shade, and we're going to try to drag like what's left on the brush. We're not dipping back in, and we're going to kind of drag this upward, same like the transition shade. We just don't want to go past that transition shade color, because obviously then it's going to look very, very muddy, and we're going to go from darker to lighter. Now we're going to go ahead and do the darker colors. We're going to dip into Magma. This is like a reddish tone as well, so it's like a reddish brown. Now I'm going to use the Sephora Collection Pro Shadow Brush number 14. I'm going to start packing it on to my lid as close as to the lash as possible. We want to make this as intense as it can, so like the closer we get to the lashes, the darker we're going to get in color. When it comes to smoky eyes like this, you want to just keep going back and forth, and we're going to just keep adding and keep adding until we get the desired intensity. You can keep it here if this is as dark as you want to go. It's honestly very, very beautiful. But we're gonna go even more intense. And now I'm going to dip into the color Deep Dive. This color right here. Now this is dark, honey, but we're making this really smoky. So this is going to be the one I'm dipping into next, and with a much smaller brush. This is a Sephora Collection Pro Shadow brush number 15. Make sure I take off the excess off this brush. I don't want too much fallout. Even though this palette doesn't really give a lot of fallout, actually it's a really good palette. I'm going to now get closer to my lash line. Now that I placed that darker color, I'm going to go back in with the number 19 brush and gently buff those edges out. If you are someone who hasn't done smoky eyes in a while, or you're a beginner in this and you need a little bit of practice, do that. Practice so that you understand how much you really need to dip into the palette, how much you need to blend out. The more you practice, obviously, the easier it is going to be. It's just best to always start with lighter shades, then add on dark. Let's do the lower lash line. Everything you did on top, you're gonna do the same thing on the bottom. You're gonna take the first shade, which was Ridge, and you're going to go all across your lower lash line, and you're going to meet and connect, and of course just meet and go upward. So you go ahead and use the next shade, which was Suntan, and you're going to just take a tiny bit of that. You don't need a lot of eyeshadow because this area is just very, very small, and you're just going to do the same thing. Add to that lower lash line, connect. Now we're going to go ahead and start getting closer to our lash line. So this time we're going to skip Pro Shadow number 14. It's too big, and we're going to go ahead and use the Sephora Collection Pro Shadow number 15 because it's a much smaller brush, and you're going to take a little bit of that Deep Dive, since that's the color that you use with that brush anyway, and you're just going to start packing a tiny bit of that color right at the outer V if you want to keep this area open, or you can go all the way through and close it. Not to your tear duct. You want to keep the tear duct a little open. Okay, so next we're going to tightline, and this is what's going to make your lashes look a little bit more fuller. So I'm going to pick up the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil Eye, Lip, and Brow Pencil in the color whatever black. You've never tightlined before and you're a beginner. The easiest way to do this is to take a mirror. So I'm going to take this palette. You're going to take a mirror, you're going to look down at your mirror. You're going to take your eyeliner and you're going to fill in your top water line, because this is what's going to make your lashes look more intense when they are darker right at the root. So when it comes to smoky eyes, you want to make sure that your lashes are present. So even if you're not doing any falsies, to definitely play up your lashes with a mascara. The mascara that I am using today is the Marc Jacobs Beauty At Lash Lengthening and Curling Mascara. Okay, so what I really like about this one is that it's so thin that you can define every single lash. It doesn't have to end here. You can add like a shimmer on the inner corner. I'm going to dip into Silk right here, kind of add it in that section. Okay, so I just added on a lip. This lip is a mix of the Anastasia Beverly Hills matte lipstick in the shade Nude and the NARS Afterglow lip balm in the shade Laguna from the Laguna collection. That is it for today's tutorial. Please subscribe to Sephora's YouTube channel if you haven't already, and subscribe to mine. My name is Madonna MUA. You'll find it here on YouTube as well. And of course, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts. And also, I want to give a big thank you to Sephora for having me back on your YouTube channel. I love this. I truly appreciate it. And yeah, that is about it. So I hope to see you guys on the next one.